Hey, good morning, friends. Hello, hello. So glad you're finding your way here. Cecile, good morning to you. Good morning, Bonnie. Glad you're here. Hope you're having a great day. Sharon Landry, everybody. Hello. Kristen, good morning to you. Hope you're grand. Good morning. Hope the plane heads out here. So, hey, Vicky, good morning. Hi, Irene. Good morning, Karen. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good day. Good morning, everybody. It is grand that you're here. John Wills, everybody. Glad to see John here. Where am I this morning? I am in my backyard. This is home. I know. I am very blessed. I'm a lucky guy, and I wanted to share it with you this morning. It is a beautiful day, Cecile. You are totally right, and these are one of these beautiful, perfect spring days where the color, you get all the greens and all the pieces and parts. So how could I not? And we're all in the business of needing a little beauty. So I thought I would offer you up the little smidge that I get to be a part of. So I'm feeling lucky and blessed about that. So good morning. It is the 26th day. Can you believe it? We have 5 more days left of May, and then we're into June. The 26th day of May at 11:11, and so you are together with this little group of people that loves you. That's where you are. You're with a group of people that loves you. Maybe you're alone right now. Maybe you're driving. Maybe you're doing something else. Maybe you're someplace else. But you right now, even if you're not on the same time hack with all of us, you are with a group of people who love you and that will pray for you and that are a part of your life. So even if you're just finding us for the first time today, welcome. So I wanted to come back here because I'm taking a little bit of a slow bell this morning. And as we like to say in the nautical terms, Linda and Donna, good morning. That where I drank a little coffee and hung out a little bit and have because it is, I think, one of the critical tasks of our age to figure out how to have a little peace. That this is actually not just a good idea. It's not just something that's nice to do. Irene brought up yesterday the idea of this difference between needs and wants. It's not just a nice idea. It's not just a want to have some peace. It is a requirement in our life. In fact, the very atmosphere of heaven, the very atmosphere of the Spirit, I think, is peace. I think it's knowing everything's going to be all right. The big bear hug of all things being okay. That everything, even the word shalom, which is the traditional word of peace in Hebrew, means wholeness. Means it's we got all the pieces and they're all in the right place. And I think that's work. In our age, that's work. Now, what does God tell us about peace? Well, there's this great. I'm so glad you asked. That there's this great line from the Gospel of John, which I think kind of gets overlooked a little bit, and I think so I want to talk a little bit this morning about kind of that peace, but also the way to get to peace. See what I did there? That where we have this chance to open up in our own imagination are the ability to relax, the ability to know peace, the ability to open ourselves up to more of what is offered us in the atmosphere of heaven, that we might be able to breathe some fresh breeze as opposed to the clogging anxiety that we're often fed, and the desire to kind of make something other than it is at work in our lives. So the scripture is this. It's John 14:27, and he says this: "My peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you." Now, Jesus often does this, and this is actually a Hebrew tactic as well. Carolyn, good morning. That where we end up, where he'll repeat something, but he repeats it in a slightly different way, and it's about, I think, just about a lot of things, but it's about this way of communicating, not just kind of the operational way that this works. And so think about what he's saying. He's saying this is Jesus is getting ready to, he's getting ready to go. He's getting ready to the disciples to go. He says, "My peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you." So there's this double component about peace, right? So he's left it. All right. So does that means, so now peace in this world seems like a treasure hunt. It seems like one of those like Nick Cage movies where we have, National Treasure, where we have to figure out all the things and wear the special glasses in order to actually figure out where our peace is in this world, and that it's elusive, and it's we've got to go looking for it, and we've got to crawl through some caves or whatever it is in order to have some peace in this world. And then he says, "My peace I give to you." So it is not only left, but it's not hiding. It is being provided. That I give it to you. That is a gift to us. So there's this. So it sets us up in this both way. Both, it is our job to go looking for it, but it's also our job to receive it. And that in this balance, and I think it's the nature of what it is to be, created person, is this very foundational basis of we have to set the conditions in our life in order to receive. That a clenched fist, no matter how much we want to, stuff $100 bill into it, it can't be done. That there's no way in which we can stuff a clenched, goodness into a clenched fist. That we must relax. We must set conditions for relaxation. Now, how does that work? Okay, all of you, relax now. We're gonna relax. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Like that. We can't relax on command. I mean, that's not how relaxation works. That's not how letting the tension out of our bodies, letting the anxiety out of our mind, letting the worry out of our heart. Like if it, we don't have this ability to just say, "Oh, all right," on command to let ourselves go. But this, I think, and this comes from a little book on prayer that I just love, called Talking with God, where she suggests that actually what is really the key point in this, and many others have talked about this as well, C.S. Lewis being one of my favorite, of saying that the central trick to this, the central trick of not only understanding that peace is left for us in this world, that there's peace, the promise of the peace is in this world, that we can encounter it. Now, can we live there? No. Can we have it? Can we always have it? No. But is it available? Is it here? Is it just, or is this just a life of fangs and claws and hair shirts and death? Is that all the world is? And Jesus promises, no, actually, you can have some peace. Actually, there is some goodness in this place. Actually, no, there is some beauty. Look at that maple. Isn't that thing amazing? Look at those birds. Can you hear them? And as they sing as we talk, that look at that dog. Is he not the most adorable little dog you ever saw? He's not into what I'm saying, though. That there actually are all kinds of agents of peace around us, that there are actually all kinds, they're all around us. They're actually present in our lives and here. And so how then, in our opening and in our receiving, how then, in God's desire to give it to us, how then do we come to it? And what Gwendresher Mack suggests, and what Lewis suggests, is actually the path is through imagination. There's the Imaginarium of our being. And now, I know this is gonna like this now. Did you just go all hippie woo woo on us? Is that what just happened? Did I all of a sudden slip into a secret episode? Like, is Rhonda Patrick, or is Rhonda, whatever her name there is, gonna come out and tell me about visualizing my greatness or whatever? Now, the thing about those movements is that, and I don't mean to mock them too much, but the thing about those movements is there is truth in them. They're just not the whole truth. But part of that truth is we must conceive of ourselves in other ways than we are. We must build. We are first and foremost creators in this world because we are built in the image of God. And the restoration of the image of God means that we too are creators. And just as the way everything in this world has ever been built, every car, every truck, every garden, every fingernail clipper, everything was conceived first in the mind. The Taj Mahal, the Great Wall of China, all of it was conceived first in the human mind. That we imagined it. We imagined if we stack up things this way, if we put these things together, if we might be able to. And so when we talk about imagination, we're not just talking about like fantasy, but we're talking about that which is not yet. That which is not yet. Lewis tells us that reason is the order of truth, but imagination is the organ of meaning. I love that. Imagination is the organ of meaning. And I would suggest to you that our ability to imagine things other than they are, and our ability to have peace in our life actually are a lot more wedded than we want to admit. Now, this is what part of the problem is. Often our imagination, we let it off the hook and we let it off the leash, and it like like a cute little pig let out into the woods, it turns into a wild boar that comes back to consume us if we don't help our imagination find its rightful place and the rightful work that it has to do. If we're just maybe you've had this experience where you get a medical diagnosis, and then you have this moment where then you have the time where you're going to talk to the doctor about it, but you don't know really what's going on in between. There's that in between moment, and all of the things that the mind begins to imagine, all the way the devils come to start gnawing on our skull, all the ways that anxiety starts to fill the space, that where we begin to imagine the world breaking down, that we begin to imagine ourselves breaking down, we begin to imagine all the brokenness and all the hardship and all the things that is to come. We rarely ever fill that space with an imagination of what might be, of our wholeness, of our goodness, of our health. Now, that'd be a really hard thing to do, because that space between is just a horrible time of trying to figure out what's going on in the middle there, and we go to work, but that's a part of our imagination going to work against us. Friends, the invitation for us is to put our imagination into work for us, for the kingdom and for the peace that has been left for us right here, for the grace and the peace that God wants to give us in our life, and that we can imagine it. We can imagine opening our hands and receiving peace, even when we don't have any business for it to have it, even in the midst of the peace that surpasses all understanding that Paul talks about, even in the midst of great strife and anxiety and pain and grief. We still have the ability to imagine the world other than it might be, or even imagine ourselves in a way that things are, or even imagine a better time. Somebody said that we were given memories so that we might have roses out of season. We were given memories that we might have roses out of season. Friends, if the season of your life is filled with anxiety right now, if your imaginarium is doing nothing but putting out darkness and pain and difficulty, if the world has brought you this little gap where nothing but creepy crawlies and devils are coming to gnaw on your skull or place anxiety in your heart, open yourself to imagination. Maybe a time that was better than this time. Maybe a place that was better than this place. Maybe a meal that was better than this meal. Maybe a beauty of creation that is present, that is a gift to you and yours right here and right now. That in all of it, Jesus' peace, Jesus' truth is real. That my peace I leave with you. It is here and now. We see it in all around us in this creation. And my peace I give to you. That God is conspiring to bring it to us. God is conspiring to bring us grace. God is conspiring to open ourselves and inviting us to set the conditions in our heart, to set the conditions in our mind, to set the conditions in our body, to let our bodies relax in this impossible age of relaxation, to let our minds be still and empty, or out on flights of fantasy, that we might be able to know that there's goodness and there's grace and there's peace, that we might be able to imagine and remember a time of beauty, of grace, or something that would fill us up, that we might imagine a heart filled with love, even if we feel ours filled with grief or pain or emptiness or numbness or loss or whatever besets us. Friends, my hope for you today is that you'll enter your imaginarium and that you'll help your body and help your heart and help your mind set some conditions in the great storytelling place, in the great imagination place, in the great creating place that is the very image of God within us, set to let loose for the healing of the world. All right, friends, that's my hope for you today. Peace and grace to you all. Audrey, so great to see you. Yeah, hi. Yeah, Poco's still jamming out over there. Where'd he go? There he is. Hi, Poco. Let's see if we can. Poco. There's my dog. He's awesome. Some of you know him. All right, friends. Woo, that's a lot of me. All right, friends. Peace and grace to you today. May God's blessing be upon you this weekend. We gather for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday. Hope you'll join us. We'll be there on Facebook Live as well and live streaming. So may God's blessings be upon your imagination today.